Alright, what's up guys? Bit of a different video today. We're not riding, we're not going to be working on any motorbikes, well, not yet, at least for this one. But yeah, so just going to be talking about this bike, bit of a history on the bike, how I ended up with this bike. Yeah, so this is a 1994 Kawasaki KX250. This bike belonged to a good friend, a good old friend of mine, my best friend, to be honest, at the time, that tragically passed away, you know, a few years ago, almost 10 years now. Passed away in 2015. Anyway, this was his bike. His name was Stick Skanker. We met, I must have been in my early teens, same with him, at a motocross track in the east of Johannesburg, it was Aurora, sorry. I used to ride quite a bit of motocross back then. I had a CR125, and yeah, he was on this bike, you know. Was just there, just training, you know, messing around on the track one day, and very nice family that he came from. They just came up to me, started chatting, and you know, the rest is history. We were, you know, close from the first day we met, myself and Stig and his family. And then yeah, he just tragically passed away 2015. They had moved down to Durban a couple of years after we had met, when they were staying in Johannesburg. But yeah, not gonna get too emotional, too sad. So anyway, these things bring us lots of joy, put big smiles on our faces. So how did I end up with the bike? You know, even after he passed, myself and his family stayed very close. I always go and visit them down in Natal whenever I can. So yeah, the one weekend, long weekend, I was there visiting them. I think it was 2023. The bike had been sitting in their garage for, you know, some time. I think his Bali would try go and do some outrides. As you can see, it's got the lift strap here, but eventually, you know, it just ended up sitting in the garage under cover. Every time I would go down there, I'd go and, you know, look at it and in the garage, and it would just bring back smiles, a lot of good memories that we had with this bike and, yeah, my bike at the time. So I was there, as I'm saying, visiting that year 2023, and I'd actually went down with the bike that I had at the time. I did some riding in Natal, and his parents were like, "Hey, Lyndon, we want you to take this bike, to have the bike." And you know, they said that we don't really care what you do with it. You can sell it, you can hang it on the wall. That was literally Uncle Sven's words. But I said to him, "Uncle Sven, I'll be honored, you know, to take the bike, but I'm going to bring this bike back to life, and I'm gonna put some time on this bike." So yeah, I've had the bike with me now for about just over a year, but it's been hectic on my side as well, you know, with work, the way I travel and stuff for work, and recently becoming a father as well. So it's been a hectic time. Things have sort of settled now and slowed down. So I'm gonna make some time to work on this bike and, you know, return it to its former glory. You know, my plans for this bike is to make it like just a motocross bike of mine, because it is a motocross bike. I've got an enduro bike, bikes, and yeah, I mean, I'm more focused on my enduro side of riding and racing and stuff like that, but you know, motocross can also, you know, bring some elements that can benefit you with the enduro side of riding. So as it's been sitting for a good number of years, I'm just gonna, it is still, the bike has been looked after, it is in very good nick, I must say, but being that it was on the coast, there's a lot of moisture, salt in the air, you know, that's just a recipe for corrosion, you know, and there is just a little bit of surface rust on a couple of things I've seen. So my plan for this bike, I'm gonna strip it down completely. I'm not gonna go crazy with it, but strip it down, just make sure everything's mechanically sound, lubricate all bearings, whatever bolts, nuts need to be replaced that I pick up, you know, that are worn or corroded, I'll do that. I see one of the radiator guards are missing on the bike, so we'll just order that and get that replaced before we even take it to the track, because if a stone or something hits there, you know, that's your radiator gone. So yeah, it's just gonna give it a thorough once over, drain all the fluids in here, drain this old fuel, brake fluid, yeah, I haven't even pulled the seat off, check what the filter's like, but yeah, just gonna fully go through it. I think the motor's still okay. When I got the bike back with me, I did start it. It did struggle to start a bit, obviously probably just the fuel is old, you know, in the carb and the tank, so we'll also just pull that out, clean it, check the jetting as well, because obviously it was on the coast, it was jetted for sea level. But I must say, when I did ride it up and down the road here, it ran pretty solid. It did run pretty solid, so we'll see. I'll just run it with this current jetting once I'm done with the bike and see how she runs. But yeah, this is also going to happen maybe in the next next 2 months. I do have a bit of an unexpected work trip coming up, where I'll leave in the next couple of days for about a month or so. So once I get back, I'll be able to start spending the time on this bike that it deserves. You know, I made a promise to his dad that you know, I would get this bike up and running, and yeah, let her rip on the track again, you know. Just on that, you know, so my bikes stay here at my mom's place. I don't live here, I live in an apartment. I will be moving soon though, which is quite exciting, into a place where I'll have a garage and I'll be able to keep my bikes and that there. So if I've got time in the evening or have an early day at work, I can get back and spend a couple of hours on the bike. So things will now start to sort of move in the right direction, which I'm excited about. So yeah, and then you'll see the bike has a number 7 on. My bike, my race bike, my enduro bike, my number is 147. I'll explain that to you guys now. Alright guys, so as you can see, yeah, I got sticker kit also recently done on this bike. Last video it didn't have a sticker kit. I just put the sticker kit on last week. Haven't ridden it since I've done it, but yeah, really happy with the way it came out. Really cool. Really did a good job, the guys out at Bandit, shout out to them. And yeah, as I said, we're gonna chat about this number now. Also just some personal touches here. That's my son's name, well, nickname. His name's Tayden, so we call him Tade. It's his date of birth there. But yeah, just nice little personal touches on the bike. Okay, let me put this down. Okay, so yeah, as I was saying, why 147? This is not a number that was just thumb sucked or a number that I just liked. So as I said, rode a lot of motocross back then. I was on my CR 125. Stig had the KX. Obviously, you know, you have your sort of favorite riders or idols, whatever you want to call them, that you look up to. So me being on the Honda, Kevin Windham back then was a favorite rider of mine, and he was number 14. Stig being on the Kawasaki, favorite rider of his, also probably my favorite of mine, probably most favorite at the time, was James Stewart. I mean, who didn't like James Stewart back in his prime? So that's how the 147 came about. It was a combination of our two numbers back then when we met and numbers that we ran on our bikes for a long time. So yeah, it's just been, it felt right, and it's a number that I won't change. You know, it also just makes me feel like when I'm out there and I'm riding, I mean, the sport that we do, the places that we are in, sometimes it's very dangerous. So it just makes me feel like, you know, he's always there with me. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. That bike in the next 2 months will be running. It will be on a track and bringing a big smile to my face. So yeah, thank you, and we'll check you soon.